We are once again logging on to be lambasted on the internet by Alabama fans. Actually, it hasn't been that bad so far.
Welcome to another episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Max Chadwick alongside PJ Clark, Tate, Sigworth, and Nick Merriam. We got a special Big Board episode. Big Board 2.0
Large
just dropped this week. Top 100 players, which you can see right now. A guy named Trevor Lawrence with one shoulder, still the number one overall prospect. And there are a few other ones too. You know, Tyler Wallace, 36, 35 spots too low. And yeah, there are Syracuse players in the top 100, which is just wild.
How about that?
Two Syracuse DBs. And also, like, we had one of the Syracuse dads, Mr. Williams, who we love, was pretty mad that his son, Trill, who we also like a lot, was not in the top 100. Listen, we can't put 3 Syracuse defensive backs in the top 100, Mr. Williams. I don't know what to tell you. All right? We just can't do it. They're not Alabama.
We're not allowed. We're not allowed.
We just can't.
There's a rule.
We got to be big J journos here, all right? You know, just because we go to Syracuse doesn't mean we can show some bias here, even though we do for literally every other video. But yeah, so if you want to check out the Big Board, which you just saw, check out our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Boom or Bust Draft. We're on YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast. Just launched our website too. We're posting more in-depth articles. Be sure to check that in the link below. I'll tell you to like.
Did we just launch that? I thought we had that for a while.
Just launched it. This is
he just has his script.
This is an old script, and I'm very sorry for that. And also, we've not been posting that much to the website, so maybe it's a little outdated. But we'll get back on that soon. And please like and subscribe to the channel. This is new ish, but we're sponsored, guys, by Manscaped, who is the best.
That wasn't loud. That was not loud enough. I mean. There it is.
There it is.
The light on it too. I love it. We're brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide, 2,000,004 to be exact. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. To get yours, go to manscaped.com and use the promo code BOOM or BUST. That's BOOM or BUST, no spaces, all caps, for 20% off your purchase and free shipping. So
and
how
free
we did
shipping.
And free shipping too. So how we did the Big Board 1.0 video was we compiled all of our rankings. So we each have personal rankings, and then we averaged them out to get our Boom or Bust Big Board. But obviously, you know, we disagree with them. We think some guys are underrated, some guys are overrated, and there are some guys that are high on our rankings that just did not even make the Big Board at all. So we are a show that just loves to argue. That is basically the entire show.
We are in fact here to argue.
So
we actually hate each other. Actually,
we're gonna lead into that right now and tell you the guy who we think is most underrated, the guy who we think is most overrated, and the best player that's not on the Big Board that is high on our Big Boards. So start with the underrated guys. PJ, who is your most underrated player on the Big Board?
So my answer for this is Ronnie Perkins, the Oklahoma edge rusher who was around this year. We'll go with that. I had him at 38 on my board, which is quite a difference from where he ended up on the communal board. Listen, I get it. I guess. Only had 16 tackles this year, 5.5 sacks. Only played in 5 games because he was suspended for a drug test from last year, suspended for the first 6 games. Listen, it's not good, but
no, it's not good.
He's talented. I think in an edge class with just so much, nobody knows if anybody's good. Like Greg Rousseau is a name. Kwity Paye is fine. You know, there's no Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, Joey Bosa, any of these guys at the top. Take the guys with tools, and the 2 edges that I am inordinately high on are Ronnie Perkins and Jalen Phillips, who might be the 2 most talented edges in the class, have a myriad of off-the-field problems with the both of them, but if they stay on the field and if they don't do drugs and if they turn out okay, they're going to be really, really good. So, yeah, I'm in on Ronnie Perkins. Screw it. Why not?
Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, it's just the thing with Ronnie Perkins is staying on the field, as what PJ talked about. I think he's good. He was 89 for me. That's probably too low, honestly. Like PJ mentioned, this edge class is a mess. Yeah, he'll go down to like 180. No, he'll probably move up a little. I don't know. The edge class is a mess. What do you want me to say? Ronnie Perkins, he's probably good.
Thank you. I'll just take that. I'm gonna accept that. He's probably good. I agree. He's really good.
Okay. Don't put words in my mouth. So my underrated guy is Seth Williams, Auburn wide receiver on the big boom or bust big board. He was 99 and he was 67 on my personal board. So that's a 30+ difference, which is sizable. Bo Nix, bad. I don't know if we need to accept this as a group yet, or if we already have accepted it, but he's bad.
I mean, I think we have.
Okay. I don't know if Max has over there.
No,
but,
I am on that train. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Seth Williams, man, prototypical NFL size. He's got awesome hands. Never really lets it get inside his frame. The hands could improve, I think, on man cover or on press coverage. And I think in the NFL, dude, Seth Williams is a red zone threat. Oh, kind of the same thing you're seeing with Nico Collins. I know we've talked about that a little, but I think at the next level, he's going to be an excellent number 2. Put him with like a speeder wide receiver. I love Seth Williams.
Yeah, so I don't love Seth Williams. That's why he's all the way down here, because you have him at 67. I have him at 150.
Yeah.
I am not a Seth Williams guy. Listen, the Bo Nix thing, 1,000%. Like the Bo Nix was terrible. He was not throwing accurate passes at all. I just don't think the Seth Williams gets locked up in press coverage. He's not really fast. He's not really like quick either. I'm worried about him as a separator. He's got great hands. I will not, dispute that. But other than that, I just don't know. He's really good after the catch. I just don't know if he can get open in the NFL, which is kind of a death sentence in the league. So, yeah, I'm definitely lower on Seth Williams. Nick, who is your most underrated player?
So I'm, after all my Rondale hype, just getting fully on the athletic receivers with tools train and having Nico Collins ranked 59th on my board, even though he's 91st overall. Everyone else is a great length lower than me on him. I think PJ was next highest at like 84, and Max is going to tell you about him, why he doesn't like him in a second. But Nico is just big, strong, athletic guy who can run fade routes, just physically beat you out for a jump ball. They ran a lot of go routes at Michigan with him. He was really, really good at gaining leverage just with his physicality, but also I think he has underrated speed. There's a bit of a Max and I were trying to find this out just before the show. If he runs the 4.4s or 4.5s with the pro day, he's probably going to run the 4.3s because pro days suck this year. But I think his speed is translatable. I think he has tools, and I think we just had the Bo Nix discussion. Shea Patterson was even worse than Bo Nix, and multiple times we saw Nico get open downfield, and Patterson just throw either completely terrible balls to an open downfield Collins, or just check the ball down or scramble for 4 yards. I think there's a lot to work with. I think he needs some development, but I think in terms of raw athleticism as an outside big physical receiver with some speed, he is the type of guy that you take with a good receiving staff and turn into a potential wide receiver one at some point in the NFL.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit higher on Nico Collins than I am on Seth Williams, just because you mentioned the speed. He's probably going to run maybe the mid 4.4s, maybe the 4.5s. The reason why we were arguing was because when I watched him on tape, I didn't really notice it, because he kind of plays a lot slower on tape. So when you said, oh, yeah, he's going to run the 4.4s, I was like, oh, there's no way. But, yeah, he's got tools, man. The thing is, you mentioned the raw athletic ability, and I want to emphasize raw there, because I think he's a raw receiver. But he's got tools. And you know what? I would take a flyer on him on day 3. I wouldn't go much higher than that. Look, he opted out of this season. He's got, again,
good
tools.
Senior Bowl. Good Senior Bowl.
Yeah, he looked pretty good in the Senior Bowl.
That helps.
He looked good. He looked good in the Senior Bowl. He's just, not great after the catch. And again, he looks a lot slower on tape, and he just hasn't been consistent when he's on the field either. So my guy, who is the most underrated player on my board, or on the board, is Osa Odighizuwa, the D tackle from UCLA. He's number 97 on the board, number 7 D tackle. I have him 61st and defensive tackle 4. He's undersized. He's only 280 pounds, but he's got great lower body strength, 34-inch long arms, plays much bigger than his size would indicate. He's got great athletic tools, too. He's been a really good run defender over his career and took major strides as a pass rusher this year and last year, with 25 pressures in 7 games this year and 4 sacks. He wins everywhere. He played all over the UCLA defensive line. He's a versatile player, got good tools, good production. The only thing holding him back from being potentially a first-round pick for me is that size. So, yeah, he's undersized, but I still like ODIGHIZUWA a lot, even though his brother was kind of a bust in the NFL.
So ODIGHIZUWA, I was lowest on by nature of I just didn't have him on my list initially, and I just tacked him on where I thought was reasonable. Listen, he had a good Senior Bowl. Like he impressed in it, especially the one-on-ones. If we're talking undersized defensive tackles, the guy who's next to him on the board, Jalen Twyman, I talked about in our last board video. I would much prefer Jalen Twyman to ODIGHIZUWA if we're just talking pass rushers. Because, I mean, listen, Jalen Twyman has the production. I don't know how he looks now that he opted out. But if I had to pick between the two under 300-pound defensive tackles, give me Jalen Twyman over ODIGHIZUWA. And they're right next to each other on the board. So that's my argument.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the most overrated players on the big board. Tate, we'll start with you. Who is the most overrated player on the Boomer Bust big board?
Yeah, the difference here is pretty crazy. So I had Richie Grant, UCF safety. On our board, he's number 59, and on my personal, he's 102. Pretty big. Yeah, the main things I got against Richie Grant, first off, age. He's already 23. He's also isn't the most toolsy guy. I know, it's all right. He plays smart. He makes up for it. He isn't the most relying, I guess, on pure athletic ability, which could help in the NFL or could work in the NFL. But I don't know. I know good Senior Bowl. I'm not all that in on Richie Grant. I know two of you have him in the 30s. There's a lot of safeties that I would prefer over Richie Grant.
Yeah, PJ and I both had him in the high 30s. I just, again, we come back to the Senior Bowl thing. I really like guys that perform well in the Senior Bowl. Really perform well in one-on-ones for a drill. It's difficult to perform well for anyone on defense. And I think he's versatile. I know he's not the most toolsy guy, and we just had a whole discussion about how much I'm going in on tools. To be fair, this is not wide receivers. That's where I'm sending the tools in the discussion this year. But he can cover. I think he can get involved in the box a little bit. And I just think in terms of versatility, and it's what you want at safety these days, I like him. I do probably need to delve a little more into his tape, but I thought in terms of what I saw in the Senior Bowl, it was impressive, and I think he should be a second-round pick.
Great tackler. Great tackler. I mean,
sure.
Hey, I just want to throw my 2 cents.
PJ, you're the king of anti-old.
What anti-old skill position
Ageist
players.
PJ.
Skill position players.
Which, by the way,
Breakout age for skill position players. He's a defensive player. It doesn't matter as much. This is don't flip this on me. Breakout age is a real thing. Devontae Smith is old. Get over it. All right, so I'm staying.
Writing it down.
Great, write it down. Do it right now.
I will.
I'm staying on the Pitt defensive line. I just talked about Jalen Twyman. My overrated player was Rashad Weaver, who I know everybody here just loves. I'm still Patrick Jones gang. Even after the Senior Bowl, I'm still Patrick Jones gang. So Rashad Weaver was 86 for me, and where was he on the board? I had this written down somewhere. Where are you, Rashad Weaver? I don't even know. I'm just gonna go with it.
He's 48.
40. Oh God, I was looking on the wrong slide of the board here because I figured he would at least be in the 50s. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. He's never really impressed me that much. He's always been a little bigger than Patrick Jones. I prefer Patrick Jones. I think he's more of a speed rusher, better on the outside.
Stubbs.
Yeah, Stubbs for arms. It was a big hit. Patrick Jones moved down for me too. Not a second-round grade on him anymore. They're closer than I originally thought they were. I think Jones over Weaver. And in an edge class where all of these guys are the same, Rashad Weaver fell out of the top 10 for me. And he didn't for the rest of you.
All right, I want everybody who's watching at home to rewind the video to just a couple seconds ago when PJ said age doesn't matter for defensive players. And we can talk about Rashad Weaver. Rashad Weaver.
I didn't say anything. They're both seniors. What do you want from me?
Rashad Weaver, hold on. Let me get the number. He is 23 on draft day. But anyways, lengthy. He isn't the best athlete. Isn't the most toolsy guy.
I said
No, you did. You did. I heard it, PJ.
No,
you were thinking it.
What is this?
We all were thinking it.
Rewind the videotape, indeed.
No. So, I mean, dude. Anyways, I don't care. Anyways, Rashad Weaver, not the best athlete. We'll give him that. But the length, multiple moves, plenty of experience. A lot of things to like about Rashad Weaver. We all have him in the late 30s, early 40s, and then Peter's just vibing at 86. So
just vibes, bro. Just vibes. Just vibes. I like my tool. I like my toolsy athletes. Spare me. Just vibes.
Nick, who do you got for overrated?
So we're gonna make this argument for the 4th time in a video this year, and I don't even know if that's counting the podcast. Najee Harris is ranked 58th on our board.
We're back twice in 1 week.
He's the number 58 running back for Nick right now.
I got him 94th overall. Yeah, he's good at football. Like, I can't deny this. Different age of football. Would have been better 20 years ago. I don't think he'll be the best type of 3-down back of this type of running back in the league. Like, I don't know. He's a running back that does all these things that are just very replaceable. He's not fast. He's not super powerful. He's not catching the ball.
Nick's
not
gonna
a
get
pass
canceled.
protector. I don't know. It's the
killed.
same argument. I don't know why I got to say this stuff again. You guys keep saying get canceled. No one's come after me yet. I'm still waiting for it because it's true, to be honest with you, but whatever.
Somebody come at Nick in the comments.
Yeah, please. I was gonna say
tell me why I'm wrong because
everyone makes fun of PJ Tate and I, and nobody comes at Nick. So yeah.
What does Najee Harris do that other running backs in the NFL don't do better? And don't say hurdling because that's BS. Sorry.
Because that doesn't
Well,
matter.
listen. So we talked about this in the running back video. I like Najee Harris. He is in the he's 34 for me. RB2. Love Najee Harris. He's Le'Veon Bell, man. The patience, the vision. He breaks tackles at a really high rate.
This is such an insult to Le'Veon Bell. This is such an insult.
You compared him to Le'Veon Bell.
I think the play styles are similar, but he is not Le'Veon Bell. He is not. He reminds me of Le'Veon Bell in play style. That is the biggest insult to Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was an elite wide receiver, also a right. Najee Harris is not that.
Very good receiver.
Oh my God,
Najee's a very good receiver too.
You're a Steelers fan, dude.
I know, and if they take him in the 2nd round, then I'll be okay. I'll be great with it. I will love it.
You watched Le'Veon.
What? I know, and I'm saying it's the same player. It's the same player. Listen, I am the big guy of saying, listen, what I'm comparing to doesn't mean that they're going to be that. Najee Harris is going to be Le'Veon Bell. That's what I think is going to happen. I think he's a really good receiver, really good vision. Really good athleticism, too. I don't think he's that fast, but other than that, he's really athletic. He breaks a lot of tackles. So I like Najee Harris. He's not RB1. Javonte Williams is RB1. But Najee Harris is a very, very good player.
I'm sorry.
And hey, if he works out and he's Le'Veon Bell, good for him, but he'll probably be Le'Veon Bell for 2.5 years, and that's what you get out of a good running back.
Yeah, we'll see. So let's move on. I'm finishing out with the overrated with my guy. Oh, yeah, Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma. He's number. So here's my problem. He's the number 69 player on our. But he's not worthy of that nice ranking. So some notable 69th overall picks: Jason Witten, Tyrann Mathieu, Tyler Lockett, Yannick Ngakoue, Cooper Kupp, and Damian Lewis from last year, who turned out to be a pretty good guard. Creed Humphrey, I like him. I think he can be a starting center in the league. He's the number 6 interior O lineman. I have him number 8 interior lineman, but I have him at 120. On the board, so I have him way, way lower. I think he's okay. I don't think I would spend an early 3rd round pick on him. I think he's a good run blocker. I've got questions about him in pass protection, though. Oklahoma faced a lot of 3-man rushes in the Big 12, and he got dominated by the few NFL caliber defensive tackles he faced in Brevion Roy and Quinnen Williams. Pretty limited athlete who won't get out in space and doesn't play with leverage very well.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out Q. I love Quinnen Williams. Also had 4 penalties this year too. I think he can be a starting center in the league. I just wouldn't spend a 3rd round pick on him. I think I'd take him in the 4th round.
I absolutely would spend a 3rd round pick on Creed Humphrey. Experienced, has like thousands of snaps under his belt. Is also, I don't know if I would say he was dominated by his NFL competition. I think, he played well. He had a hell of a Senior Bowl, if we're going to talk about Senior Bowl guys who played well. Yeah, I don't know. 120, that is very low, Max.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just not a huge fan of Creed Humphrey. Let's move on though to the best not on the board, so this video isn't too long for PJ. So let's go to Nick now. Nick, who is your best player that didn't make the top 100 big board?
All right, so this is a guy I haven't watched notably in a while, so he might be dropping. So I kind of put another name in here just in case. But Caden Stearns is kind of an athletic guy who didn't really grade out well in anything, but he just makes these kind of fantastic plays in coverage. He's got some Andre Cisco to him, in that like he's an amazing ball hawk at times, but just doesn't like know how to cover or like hit assignments, and he's not as athletic. So like I think as like a project safety, like he'd be fine in the third round. But just in case I'm wrong and go back and look at him and hate him later on, because I just haven't watched him honestly.
I don't like this, for the record. I don't like this. Yeah. He's double dipping here.
Creating a safety net.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is a great term for it, because I got another safety coming. James Wiggins from Cincinnati, who none of you ranked, who was excellent in that Peach Bowl, is a guy who came out this year and was one of the better players on a good Cincinnati defense. So I'm throwing him in there as well.
What are your rankings for them, real quick?
71 for Stearns, 78 for Wiggins.
I'm pro Caden Stearns, so like I'm with you. I was lower.
He's in my top 100.
I like him. He's also in my top 100. He's 100. I'm going with number 80. I'm saying it. Thanks.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm staying in the secondary. I'm going with Greg Newsome, the Northwestern corner. He's my CB10. I like him a lot. He had great numbers this year. He didn't play in the Ohio State game, which I think I would have liked to see him against Justin Fields and dominate Justin Fields in that game like the rest of that secondary did. But 9 pass breakups in 6 games this year, was active with the hands, fluid. I like the way he moves. It's my CB10. Again, there's tiers to this cornerback group, but I feel like pretty good about him. I have him at 80 right now. He might even sneak into the second round for me. Anywhere in top 75, I think you're good with picking him. He might even go higher. He's got physical traits. I'm lower than a lot of people are putting him in like top 40, top 45. I think I have him at 80. I think top 75 is reasonable, but I'm a Greg Newsome fan, and nobody else really was.
Greg Newsome's fine. My column. So I'm also staying in the secondary. Welcome to the secondary train. My CB5, I recognize I'm probably just overly aggressively high on him, but this is just my hill and I'm just hanging out. SHEMAR Jean-Charles, App State cornerback. He's
I respect
probably
this grind, by the way.
He's my guy. I wrote an article. He's in an article a while ago. The receipts are here.
Nobody respects the Talon Wallace grind, but whatever.
Yeah, shut
Tate
up,
can
Max.
write articles, but I can't. My column.
Physical. A lot of production. 26 pass breakups in the last 2 years. He's probably first couple years an early slot guy, but down the road, I think he could be a really good number 2. Played well at the Tropical Bowl. For all I can see, he's a high character guy, team captain, film junkie. Also plays a lot of special teams. So there's a bit of development needed. I'm probably too high. He's 63 on my board, but this is just where I'm hanging.
I like him. I think he's a very underrated prospect. I don't put him that high, but I think he's very underrated.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the highest ranked guy actually on my board is another interior offensive lineman, Aaron Banks, the Notre Dame guard, is number 59. I didn't want to go 3 interior linemen in the row because that would have been Creed Humphrey, Aaron Banks, and ODIGHIZUWA. I'm going to go with another secondary player. Finish it out here.
About the trenches, Max. Respect the trenches.
I did enough for the trenches. I showed enough respect to the trenches. I'm going to go with
skull
USC
foaming at the mouth somewhere.
USC safety, Talanoa Hufanga. Number 62 on my board, so about 3 spots lower than Banks. Number 5 safety. Right now he's number 117, I think, on the board. He's a big safety. He's 6'1", 215. You feel all 215 pounds when he hits you, man. He's like Darren Sharp, but one of the hottest hitting safeties in this draft.
That was terrible.
Oh, was that bad? You do it then.
That was not. I'm not going to disrespect one of the all-time internet videos. I don't think that was very good.
I was showing respect to one of the all-time internet videos. Okay. PJ, okay. Peter.
Okay.
Look, he'll be box safety. He's able to rush the passers. He's got 6 sacks the last 2 years. He's got nice instincts and coverage too. He had 4 picks this year too. So listen, the athleticism is going to put him down some boards, but I still think he's all-around box safety. Who will be a good, strong safety in the NFL. So that's what we got for our big board. Of course, please check it out on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at Boom or Bust Draft. Leave questions for our mailbag by commenting or emailing us, boomerbustraft@gmail.com. And you can also just, reply to us on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or wherever.
We are here to argue. We are, in fact, here to argue. Please argue with us.
Yes, and please support us, too, by going to Manscaped right there. Sounds beautiful. .com, manscaped.com, promo code BOOMERBUST, all caps, no spaces, for 20% off your purchase and free shipping. So for PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, and Nick Merriam, I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.